You started in Slum in Mumbai.
The main aim of Misaal is not to color the wall, but talking about education. पूरे विश्व में हर बच्चे को ये हक होना चाहिए कि वो स्कूल तक पहुंचे.
I want to do something purposeful to making this into a national, international movement.
All my celeb friends will now be like, oh, she's calling. Okay, hello, hi, yes, कहाँ आना है, कौन से slum में? We've literally got beaten up in slums at times,
Really?
where my team had to run out and people are like, what the hell? Bhagavad Gita में लिखा है कि आप जब कर्म करें उसके फल की अपेक्षा ना करें, आप सिर्फ काम करें. कुछ चीजें तो हमें अपने कंट्रोल से छोड़ के यूनिवर्स को देनी है ना. जब आप वो देते हैं तो जिंदगी बदल जाती है.
Hey guys, today we have Rouble Nagi with us. Can art really change the way we live? Can it transform an entire community? Can it change the way society thinks or acts? Can art actually convince a student to start studying, to go to school, to become a graduate? Can it make women employable? The answer will surprise you. Can a slum look like the Portofino of India? It has got tweets from Amitabh Bachchan, Amir Khan. It has attracted foreigners from across the globe. But is it really changing the community? I think you're going to find some very, very interesting insights from our podcast today. Whatever you'd like to share.
See, I have a very simple introduction. I am an artist. I paint, I sculpt, which I get very little time for it now. And I'm also a social worker and activist who believes that whatever you're doing in life, there is always time to give back. It doesn't take much to try to be a nice person every day. Try to think that क्या मैं अपनी क्षमता में कुछ ऐसे काम कर सकती हूँ या कर सकता हूँ जिससे शायद किसी का भला हो जाए. I think I am too blessed to be doing something I love so much. बहुत कम लोग हैं जिनको ये मौका मिलता है जिस चीज से वो इतना प्यार करें उसको करने का. So if I'm getting that opportunity to do something that I love children, I love to see our women working and standing on their feet. I love my art. So if I'm getting that opportunity to do, then I shouldn't be complaining at all. Like, a lot of people tell me you travel around the clock, you're in slums all the time, you're working here, working there. I said, yeah, but I love it. And I always say that I'm not doing anything. हम कौन होते हैं किसी के ऊपर चैरिटी करने वाले. हमें मौका दिया है भगवान ने करने का. हमें थैंक यू बोलना चाहिए. When you are doing something for people, you should not come down 20 folds. You need to come and help people 200 folds down. Because they are the one who really need it. और अच्छा काम करने के लिए सोचने की क्या जरूरत है? When you want to do it, let's just do it.
I love the fact that you really, what you said, you pulled in all your different passions together. You literally have pulled in your art and you're using that to help people. How did that come about?
So, art is a very versatile medium, creativity, art, because it's the best form of self-expression. So when you go to people where you want to talk about education and empowering your women and talking about sustainability, talking about climate change, talking about plastic use, if you just go and talk to them, they would kind of, think and, this is the feedback I've got initially that ma'am, jo aata hai, yahi baat karta hai. हमें बच्चों को पढ़ाना है, महिलाओं को सक्षम करना है, and we are kind of bored of hearing this.
Right.
So I said, absolutely, I am with you. If I was living in a slum or any basti and people just came, all these activists and all these social workers came to me and spoke about this, then I would be like, okay, fine, this is something I hear every day in these areas. So that's why we say educating through art. Be creatively courageous. Means we want to start with art. That is where me being an artist came very helpful, and that's what I always wanted to do. I didn't want to be just an artist who's auctioning, doing commission work, selling in big art homes and galleries. I wanted a purpose to my art. And what more than children, because I love children. When I was a child, I used to, my father says that you had some magnet that you could pull so many children towards you. So I think that happened because I love children, and I've always had this thing that whatever profession I choose, whether I do MBA or become a doctor or engineer, architect, whatever I would become,
had to be with kids.
It had to connect me to children somehow. So through my art is when we connected. And in fact, art made it very easy for us to connect to people. It broke that barrier between us and people.
Right.
And when we took our colors and our buckets and our rollers and brushes with the team to the bastis. Everyone came up. Yes, instead of us going home to home asking, हम ये करना चाहते हैं, हम ये करना चाहते हैं, हम इसके लिए यहाँ पे हैं. They came to us out of curiosity, saying, "Oh my God, ma'am, क्या हो रहा है? क्या color
So
हो
you
रहा है?"
started in a village, sorry, in a slum in Mumbai.
Yes.
First.
Yes.
And your first slum was?
So we started with an art camp.
Okay.
The beautification came later with an art camp in a slum, in a school, government school in Dharavi, and that was the first art camp where I did with an NGO called Pratham, and the founder. I met the founder, and he said, "Choti si bachchi hai, dekhte hain kya karti hai." So I was in my 20s, early 20s. So I said, in 2021. So I said, okay, fine. I love
that choti si bachchi hai.
I remember going to Pune to meet him. It was like, when things are meant to happen, they happen.
So I've met him. He's amazing, and I think Pratham's been doing some
great work from
work.
25 years plus now. So he said, okay, fine, everyone. Later he told me, because
सब आते हैं, सब बोलते हैं हम कुछ करके चले जाएंगे.
Yes. So he told me later that we were testing you, and I was like, because he gets so many young girls and boys who come and tell him we want to do social work. And then we did the art camp, and it was a 2-day art camp. And you'll read like when people say, how did you think of doing this full time? In fact, that incident that happened there kind of changed it. And then he called me after the workshop, after a few days, and he said, the feedback my team has given me is something I couldn't believe they would say, and how kids have connected to you. और उनको इतना अच्छा लगा कि मैम तो ऐसा ही था कि हमारे जैसी ही हैं.
My God.
So I was like, but मैं वैसी ही हूँ, right? I come from a very humble background. For me, I've always been taught to never forget your roots, where you've come from. I'm born in a small village, I think, in Jammu and Kashmir, and I still remember, in my growing up days, we used to come once in a year to meet my grandparents. My mother still lived in that room which didn't have concrete walls.
Wow.
So and one side of the house was totally made, and one side, my mother's room, had this mitti ki diwarein. So I said, for me, these are the most beautiful memories that I will never forget. So he said, no, but it was great. Let me know. Can we do a longer camp in 8 days? And then we did take kids to Lonavala. And that's how the journey started. But for me, it was very important that we connect through creativity, because I wanted holistic growth for children. I didn't want, when we say art, does not mean we want them to become artists. So I told them, artist nahi banna hai, wo aap banna chahte hain. We have lots of students today who've done extremely well. From JJ, they've studied from Raheja and different parts of the country. But it's your choice. But what I want to do is, I want to make sure that you complete your education. For me, what was important was that you are a graduate, not just the degree in your hand, because going to school, going to college is a culture. हमारे देश में नहीं, पूरे विश्व में हर बच्चे को ये हक होना चाहिए कि वो स्कूल तक पहुंचे और जाके अपनी शिक्षा पूरी करे. Now, there are a lot of times when this does not happen, is where we came in to bridge the gap. So for me, everything started with art, and art is the only medium for me that help us grow so much. Taking 2 million kids to school today could happen only because बच्चों को पूरा पढ़ना नहीं है, हमें रंग भरने हैं, हमें art workshops करनी है, and 10 बुलाए तो 100 आए. So it was like that. Yeah, but if I told them हमें आके यहाँ पे English, Hindi, Maths पढ़ना दे, तो oh मैम भाग रहे हैं, we don't want to come. But we said, we don't want to study. We are going to dance. We are going to put the music. We are going to paint. We are going to make craft. We are going to do art and craft and have lots of fun and chat. And that's where the kids got the thing. Even our curriculum today does not include just the basic English, Hindi, Maths. Whatever we do, it's called Let's Make Learning Fun. So we try to do it in such a way that kids understand much faster, and something that they will remember. So these are the things which art has really helped us. It has broken that barrier and connected us to people so beautifully that we are one big family today. It never felt कि वो बस्ती में रहते हैं या मैं रह. I mean, there are millions of nights that I've spent and I've slept there. In fact, उनको ज़्यादा चिंता होती है कि मैम आज यहाँ सो रही हैं, बिजली चली जाएगी, सुबह पानी कितने बजे आएगा. So I tell them, listen, just relax. If you can live here, I can live here too. I have spent nights there does not mean I want to live there. or I want my people to be living there in a room which is 8
Absolutely.
feet by 8 feet or 6 by 6 feet. उसमें 8-10 लोग रहते हैं. हमने जब अभ्यास गली का काम किया था वर्ली में, तब it's a very famous street. If you Google, people, these students, law students, engineering students, medical students, they sit on the street under the lamplight and they study.
Sure.
So when we were transforming that, I spoke to them. I said, क्यों आप लोग यहाँ पढ़ते हैं? बोले मैम हम लोग 8 बाय 8 के कमरे में 10 लोग 12 लोग पढ़ते हैं. माँ भी है, दादी भी है. My siblings are there, and we get disturbed because these are serious studies. So we come and sit here and study, and they would come and thank me that मैम आपने benches लगवा दिए, lights लगवा दी, साफ कर दिया. Earlier people were urinating there. They were just throwing alcohol, beer bottles, and all these stuff. And when you have students coming and studying there, least we can do is give them, even if it's on the road, side of the road, at least make that livable for them to sit and study. They're not sleeping there.
True.
And then suddenly we saw, I mean, one of the, I think Times of India or somebody covered saying that how we can see the transformation where groups of students are coming and studying there. Then a group was there who was studying law. So I got some of my lawyer friends to come and give them workshop, doctors. So I kind of made it into something which they would inspire more kids. आपके घर में जगह नहीं है, पढ़ाई छोड़ देते हैं, क्या करना है? नहीं, कोई बात नहीं, पढ़ाई छोड़नी नहीं है, आप यहाँ आके बैठ के पढ़ो. आपको यहाँ टीचर भी मिल जाएगा, मेंटोर भी मिल जाएगा, प्लस आपको ग्रुप में और फ्रेंड्स भी मिल जाएंगे, where you can exchange notes with each other. That motivated so many other students to come and complete their studies. So somewhere down the line, these small little things can connect you for bigger and better good. And that's how art has really helped us to connect to people.
And we forget that, right? We forget the power of just the color or just, sprucing up a place. It makes you want to spend more time and improves your experience.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's about connecting to people. हमारे आजू बाजू में भी जो लोग हैं, what do they need from you other than respect, love, and few words of goodness? So least we can do is that be nice to somebody that day. That blessing that person probably will give you from their heart will turn the world for you. And that is probably has happened for me because, coming from an army background where you are stationed into a different city.
So I'd love to get into that.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about growing up. You're from Jammu and Kashmir.
Yeah.
So
my father was in the army. So I was born in Jammu and Kashmir, and we used to go once in a year to meet my grandparents and my aunts and my buas and my chachas. But I think now from 2017, I've been regularly working in Kashmir, and last 4-5 years they've been very instrumental. Recently G20 happened in Kashmir, which was also great. We saw 150 delegates across the world who came and saw what Kashmir is, and their entire perception about Kashmir, which they thought was only the disturbed state, has changed, and they've gone on every international platform and spoken so well. So I guess things changed, but I have beautiful memories of walking into all the fields. Gaon mein rehte the. My nani used to stay in a gaon, my dadi also, but my dada dadi passed away when we were very young. But I was very close to my nani, and I studied BCom Part 1. My father was posted on the border, so he left me with my nani for 1 year, and I did my BCom Part 1. After that, I got married and came to Bombay at 19. But I was studying there.
So you were married at 19?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 25 years now. So you know my age.
Can't tell.
Of course you can tell. I'm 43, very proud 43. And I'm happy to be growing old. And my other cousins used to feel very jealous. Ki Nani Ma Hamesha, we used to call him Mataji. Nani Ma Hamesha praises you and doesn't. I said, so you guys need to do something. So even if I would just wash her shirt and iron it, iron it and give it to her, she'll say, देखो कितने सफाई से उसने कपड़े धोए हैं. So she taught me patience. She taught me something which I will never forget, that you should always be grateful, but never stop giving up in life, because life is not going to give you always what you want. But there's no harm in working hard, and there is no substitute to hard work. And if it meant to happen, it'll happen. But tomorrow you will not regret that you didn't try. And I tell this to all the youngsters, and I'm speaking at TEDx, and I'm going to say it there also. You think you want more? Work hard and go for it. But किसी के पास है तो आपको चाहिए. That itself is like making your life unhappy, and then you're surrounding yourself with negative thoughts. So that she taught me, and I think जब आप गलत में भी अच्छा देखते हैं, नेगेटिव में भी पॉजिटिव देखना शुरू हो जाते हैं. सो ट्रस्ट मी, things around you become blissful. So जब अच्छा मिलता है तो हम भगवान को धन्यवाद करते हैं, जब अच्छा नहीं मिलता तो भगवान को बोलते हैं मुझे क्यों नहीं दिया, मेरा नंबर क्यों नहीं आया. So that's not done right. So you have to have that consistency in every relationship, even the relationship you have with God, that when you say I trust you, somewhere down the line we are humans, we don't, right? We always question. So I have, from last, you can say 7-8 years, stopped questioning why this has happened, why this has happened. I'm going to give my best and leave some things on my destiny and my life ahead. Because if you tell me that, do I want to see आगे मेरी life में 5 साल के बाद क्या होगा? I don't want to know.
And you might,
Yeah,
you might as well
let life unfold, good and bad. It's next 5 years are not going to be all good, but they're not going to be all bad either, right?
True.
And that's how, when you're growing up, when you spend time with elders, you spend time with people who've seen life, you learn so much. This is a huge learning that I got from her, from my mother also. But of course, because I spent that beautiful 1 year that I cherish for my life with her, I think she's been the most amazing teacher to me in my life, who didn't teach me English, maths, Hindi, but taught me lessons of life from the horse's mouth, straight away the way she lived. And अमेजिंग. अब पूरी जिंदगी में अगर आपने कभी अपनी आवाज ऊंची नहीं की, किसी को डांटा नहीं, हाउ डू यू लिव लाइक दैट? योगीज हम सुनते हैं वैसे जीते हैं. तो शी लिव लाइक दैट. आई मीन इट्स नॉट दैट आई मैं तो बहुत डांटती हूँ, चिल्लाती भी हूँ टाइम पे, बट आई कांट बी हर. बट आई जस्ट टेल हर दैट हाउ आर यू लाइक दिस. शी सेड time and age teaches you everything.
That's beautiful, and thank you so much for sharing that with us. I think surrendering and attracting what's meant for you,
yes,
and what's destined for you.
Surrender is most important. भगवद गीता में लिखा है कि आप जब कर्म करें तो उसके फल की अपेक्षा ना करें, आप सिर्फ काम करें, बाकी देना नहीं देना ऊपर वाले के हाथ. कुछ चीजें तो हमें अपने कंट्रोल से छोड़ के यूनिवर्स को देनी है ना. जब आप वो देते हैं तो जिंदगी बदल जाती है. My guidance in life is Bhagavad Gita. Whenever I'm stuck somewhere and I'm thinking of something, कि इसको कैसे करूं या शुरू करूं नहीं, I just open the chapter, I close my eyes, I put my cursor.
Really?
Whenever it stops, trust me, it's a 15 years experience that जहां वो रुकेगा ना, और literally that is the answer that I am wanting to hear. This is Guru Mantra. I tell all the youngsters, जब अटक जाओ ना, आंख बंद करके प्ले बटन दबा देना और आपको अपना आंसर उस आधे घंटे में मिल जाएगा. नहीं मिला, you come and tell me.
I love that.
It's like a give and take, because he's listening to you, right? I mean, you close your eyes and you ask anything.
I agree.
You don't say कि मुझे नहीं मिला तो God is not listening. नहीं, वो आपकी लाइफ में वो काम, वो ट्विस्ट, वो लोग और वैसा आपको सक्सेस फेलियर जो भी है, एक लेसन के लिए ही आता है आपकी लाइफ में, और तभी आएगा when he thinks that it is best for you.
And if it's not, then that lesson
it is not meant.
coming.
Would your parents give you something which is not good for you to even eat? No, right? Even if you want to eat that so badly, they'll say, नहीं बेटा, इससे health खराब होती है, मत खाइए आप, right? So if that is there, then what is the difference between parents and God? I mean, it's there.
No, is that
unconditional love? If anybody can give you, that is only God Almighty. Rest every relationship with some comes with condition. And I think it's the most beautiful relationship if we can truly cherish.
I can imagine. So, tell me about your, your love affair with art. How did you become an artist? Who inspired you? You were one of the first artists to show at the Rashtrapati Bhavan. But how did your journey as an artist start?
So when I was 4.5 years old, I painted a watercolor in my kindergarten school, and that got hugely applauded. I don't know what honestly they were applauding at that age, but
wow.
So my father was very happy, and dad was like, I think you're going to become an artist. But he changed every year, saying that you want to be a doctor, because I think 40 years back, the most happening professions were
doctor,
engineer, Fauji. I mean, all for Air Force, infantry, army, and navy. And architect was okay. Artist तो सुना ही हुआ ही नहीं था. And
artist career नहीं होता था.
Yeah, right? so it's a it's a very hobby. It's a very famous saying in West Bengal, because when I was studying there, when my father was posted in West Bengal, my art journey started from Shantiniketan. And there's a very famous saying in Kolkata, in West Bengal, which is like the hub of art
Right.
and literature and
Right.
poetry कि अगर बच्चा शैतानी करता है तो उसकी माँ बोलती है you are not listening to me, I will make you an artist.
No.
Means your life is over. That is my punishment to you. So ऐसा बोला जाता था क्या मैं तुम्हारे आर्टिस्ट बनिए दबो तुम्हारा लाइफ का खत्म
No
मतलब
way.
तुम योर लाइफ इज ओवर मैं तुमको आर्टिस्ट बना दूंगी दिस इज व्हाट अ
Lovely.
मदर्स पनिशमेंट टू द चाइल्ड इज
Lovely.
सो नाउ एक सरदार फैमिली में एक पंजाबी फैमिली में माय फादर इज लाइक एब्सोल्युटली गुरसिख माय ब्रदर्स वेयर टर्बन सो फॉर देम आर्टिस्ट मतलब okay you just want to study art like but why do you want to study art
Right.
it was like that
Right.
so I was like okay fine you know what what's the baad mein dekhenge but my dad always wherever we met people army officers they said sir aapki beti hame lagta hai kuch bahut creative karegi so my father would be like thinking no I don't want her to work
Right.
I want my girl you know the youngest in the family with two brothers always treated like princess in the house no I don't want my daughter to slog and work and also like okay fine you know let fathers love
Right.
respected
Right.
but then I got married very early and I got married into an art family where my husband's a collector
Oh wow.
my mother-in-law was Bengali my father-in-law is Punjabi so they've grown up with a lot of culture and reading poetry and reading you know books together and listening to Rabindranath Tagore and cultural music so that kind of you know was like a complete shift in my life though I was always inclined towards art I always participated in art competitions I was schoolgirl house captain prefect so teachers loved me in my school time and when I got married here my mother-in-law used to also paint and do little sculptures and murals so I would sit with her and she said, Beta, come. Because I was so young, I was
Right.
doing studying also, and I was with her. And she said, do this. So within like less than 3 months, I kind of learned so fast that she said, you know what, I think you should do art. I said, Mom, do you really think so? She said, no, I can see what you can't see probably in yourself. Because I was like, as a profession, I want to do it, but do you think, she said, I'll guide you. I'll tell you how to do it. So she told me to, she bought me a few canvases and she said, paint what you want. Let's see. So I did some paintings. She booked Taj Art Gallery for me. Taj Hotel, Taj Kolaba, Taj Mahal used to have a beautiful art gallery. They've shut it now. They've converted it into a lounge now. But my first show was there and it was a sold out show.
No way.
So I was like, you know, it's like at that age, at 19, when you have a sold out show, you feel like you're Hussein yourself. You know, you're like, oh my God, I've arrived. I've killed it. God has been like, you know, He's blessed me in abundance that you've got so much. One person from Saudi came, he was living in the hotel, came and bought the whole show. I still can't forget.
No way.
He had these big rubies on him, you know, everywhere in his on his kandura, something, the outfit that he was wearing. And he said, I want all, can you give me all? So I was like, no, I still have 10 days to go for my show. And my mother-in-law was like, oh, sir, we'll send it to you, don't worry. And she's like, are you crazy? Forget it. We'll sit with empty walls for next 10 days. Give it. He's leaving. So he took the entire show was taken by him. So I don't know what he did with it. So if I was at that age now, I would ask, where is it going to be installed? Where are you from? Everything. But, you know, at that time, I was just excited that everything is gone. And I think that's where the art journey started. And then we started doing murals. I did Asia's largest glass mural with my mom-in-law for Taj Hotels because she was, I think, advisory to them or something she was doing with Taj Group of Hotels at that time. So more than 5 lakh pieces of glass was in that mural in Rangoli, a sidewalk restaurant in NCPA in Kolaba. So that's where then there was no looking back. Then somebody or the other kept approaching, can we do this commission work? Can we do this? Then in less than 2 years, I was working round the clock, like literally round the clock, where there was so much in your plate to do that you had no time for anything else.
That seems to be the story of your life.
Yeah, totally. And then, but you know, somewhere down the line, like I said, when I was growing up, I always wanted to do whatever I would do, connect to children. And then one day Pratham happened. Thanks to a friend I met, and we just generally spoke. And I'm someone who's always, you know, somebody will say, so what do you like doing and this and that? Do you have hobbies? So I always speak about children, that I love them and I wish I could do something. He just randomly said, you must meet Madhav. I was like, all right. And that's where the whole thing started. And Madhav sat me down one day, and I remember in Delhi, and he said, you know, you're so good with what you are. You've given a couple of years. Now, why don't you start an organization and do this properly? So I was like, no, no, how will I do it? You know, I don't know. He said, I'll guide you through. And then all you need is a good lawyer and a chartered accountant who can guide you through. Because whether you want to stay to 300 kids, 30 kids, or you want to reach to 3 million kids, choice is yours. Can you do it? I said, I would love that. You know, in a room full of 1,000 kids. I mean, it's like
That's what I want to
heaven.
do.
Yeah, it's heaven. So that's how the whole journey with art and the social work started. So we launched Paint Dharavi in 2016, which was about beautification of the slum. Now, when you are beautifying a slum, you realize waterproofing चाहिए, दीवारें झरझर करके गिर रही हैं, गंदगी है, सामने कचरा है, toilets clean नहीं है. So there are a lot of issues in the slums which need to be addressed, not just painting the walls.
Right.
So when we launched Misaal in 2014 is where we said, we are not beautifying, we are transforming. So when we picked up Jafar Baba, that you see from the ceiling, which went viral because everyone who looked at the hill could see it. Amitabh Bachchan blogged, Amir Khan tweeted. They all saw it. It was in every magazine that we have our own Portofino colorful slum. We don't have to go here and there. We can see our colorful slums here. So, but if you went inside, like when we were working, there are a lot of foreigners who would see and come inside. And see, you'll see a picture of a group of foreigners with their 2 kids. They got them inside to show that how beautiful this is looking. And when they came inside, he actually told me that, you know, we thought we would only see colorful walls from outside, but this is so clean inside. Right. I said, that's the whole point. Colors give you that first look and bring you to us. When you come inside is when you see that here kids are studying, women are working in skill center, our toilets are clean, we have community toilets, but they are clean. And during Swachh Bharat scheme, a lot of toilets were built, and you know that was fantastic initiative which reached out to lakhs of toilets which were built, which I mean we've seen it on ground being built. So that is where you know you are kind of inviting people instead of you going and telling them, but your work is speaking and that is getting people to you. And that's where Misaal happens. So I always tell Misaal, the main aim of Misaal is not to color the wall. Colors will fade in few years. 4-5 years में तो रंग चला जाएगा, बारिश है, धूप है, पानी है, pollution है. But the change we want to bring in people's life, and that is about talking about education, talking about girl-child education, letting our women work, talk about less use of plastic, waste management, toilet use. So हम धीरे धीरे लोगों को बुला के, yes, yeah, it's like holistic approach, giving them a holistic approach to things, the basic things that they need to do in their life every day. And within a year, our Misaal team was a 1 million volunteer team initiative. Yes, so it got replicated. In every interview, I say that less than a year, we went to literally hundreds of corners of the country. We started from Mumbai because I live in Bombay, but we replicated all across the country. किसी आप ट्विटर देखोगे किसी ने बिहार के गांव के कुछ घरों को कलर करके आगे सफाई करके 2 कचरे के डब्बे रखे हैं, wet waste, dry waste. I'm talking about 2018-19.
Oh my God.
And has tweeted that inspired by Misaal Mumbai India initiative, inspired by Rouble Nagi ma'am, and this is what I've done in my capacity in my village here. So that's how it went viral, and it was everywhere. Then Wali Koliwara happened. I mean, I honestly, if you ask me, I don't remember the number. Hundreds of villages and slums we went to.
I love
so it became a big family. We had doctors who were coming and working with us. We had engineers. We have armed forces personnel who, ma'am, छुट्टी पे आए हैं हम. Through social media, it's very easy to connect now. That we हम छुट्टी पे हैं एक महीने की, उसमें हम 10 दिन आ जाएं क्या cleanliness drive में. So all my friends, in fact, in Bombay laugh कि रूबल का मैसेज या कॉल आए तो इन्हों कहीं जाके कचरा उठाना है. All my celeb friends they laugh. They're like, oh, she's calling. Okay, hello, hi, yes, कहाँ आना है, कौन से slum में? You're doing a drive. Give us the t-shirt and we'll pick up the garbage. So I'm like, listen, when you guys come, all these people feel happy, right? Today हम screen पे देखते हैं, अगर वो उठा सकते हैं कचरा. I said, you should be happy and thankful to God कि आपको इस स्तर पे लाया कि आप किसी को inspire और motivate कर सकते हैं. Like हमारे दिल्ली के इसमें बस्ती में Sonu Nigam was visiting here. Sonu just messaged. I said, listen, Sonu, do you want to come? We are doing this with the cops here. So he said, I'll come. अब वो अगर आके मास्क दे रहे हैं, कुछ कर रहे हैं और थोड़ा सा cleanliness के बारे में, so it will reach out to many more, right? It will inspire so many people. Even if people are coming to take selfie, but selfie लेने के लिए भी आप आ रहे हैं, लेकिन वो जब बोल रहे हैं उनको सुन तो रहे हैं. what we are doing there, you're noticing more, right?
Absolutely.
So you guys are ambassadors. So I always tell them, you should come back and say thank you to me for getting you guys to do this,
Yeah.
and which they do. I mean, I'm not
No, you're
ungrateful.
blessed.
No,
I
I'm
mean,
not
I love that.
ungrateful.
You've taken your art to a purpose, and you're actually
Like so
connecting
many
so
years
many
back, I
people.
remember my art camp on Carter Road. Salman came and he saw the artwork and he said, "Isme se mujhe 10 de do. I will take these and auction them or whatever. And give me the details of these kids and what we can do." It became news that Salman Khan ne wo 10 paintings le liya. I mean, he probably won't even remember it now, but
Absolutely.
we remember it because those kids are
And they'll
graduates
remember it.
today and they
Yeah.
remember it so nicely. Oh, sir ne hamare liya हमारी painting ले ली थी. So like these things, you know, kind of give a beautiful message forward. So if you could be given that opportunity and given that chance to reach out to more and more people for changing someone's life, some people idolize you. You are like role models to them. And if you can be that role model and say something nice and motivational and inspirational to them, I think they would do, you know, 10 times more than they would be doing otherwise.
I think from just the thought of I want to do something purposeful to making this into a national, international movement.
Yeah, you know what? It takes a lot of hard work. It's very nice to sit like this in a lovely sari and talk and say things and feel that it's been easy, but no journey is easy.
No
But then
journey
my
is
thing
easy.
is that did you start social work thinking it's going to be easy? We've literally got beaten up in slums at times
Really?
where my team had to run out and people are like, what the hell? Because सबको समझ में भी नहीं आता है ना कि आप कुछ अच्छा कर रहे हो.
True.
And if they come from an opposition party, because when you go to a बस्ती वहाँ पे एक पार्टी नहीं है, वहाँ 10 parties हैं. And then अभी कोई इस political party को support कर रहा है, कोई इसको. We support nobody. We support the people there. We are going as apolitical people to work. So, but not everyone understands that, right? Plus, a lot of people have told me that हम lady से command नहीं लेंगे. हम औरत हैं मैडम, हम आपके साथ काम क्यों करें, हम आपको सपोर्ट क्यों करें. So I'm like, you don't have a daughter, your wife is what, a man, or your bahu is what. So you know, these are the mindsets we need to be changed. We are still talking about gender equality, right? That gender gap, if somebody says does not exist, of course it does.
Of course it does.
I mean, on my face, people have said things which I don't want to repeat. But then, when you have picked a profession and you picked social work to not just raise funds or sit in office and do the coordination work, but if I have decided that on ground from last 12 to 13 years, I have to go every day, then I have to be ready for this. Because and I'm not expecting love from everyone, but I know and I have a strong belief that when you give love, you give it with patience, and consistency is very important. Everybody turns around, and they have turned around. You'll read it in my book how my team was literally thrown out of Kalina Basti for some misunderstandings, and how ladies of that Basti came and pushed those guys out, saying that how dare you speak to her or her team like that. She's cleaning the garbage, she's getting our children treated where you are supposed to be doing it because you're the secretary of this area, and you're not doing, and you're showing her attitude. Yes. So instead of you reacting, when people see that you're doing good work, they come and support you, and that's how you kind of become popular also, right? कि नहीं हम इनके साथ खड़े हैं. So that is where the whole thing happens. But being a lady, they see you कि अच्छा दुबली पतली आई है अच्छे घर से, ये क्या खड़ी होंगे, हाँ ये क्या काम करेंगी, तो 2 दिन में स्मेल सूंघेंगी और चली जाएंगी. बट जो वो देखते हैं भैया पिछले 10 साल से 12 साल से रोज ही आती हैं, सो देन इट में कैसे हो मैम, चाय पियेंगे, समोसा खाएंगे. सो देन दे अंडरस्टैंड, एंड यू नो यू कांट ब्लेम देम. उनके पास वैसे ही लोग आते हैं जिनको उनसे कुछ चाहिए. Either builders will go or politicians will go or some municipal something is breaking and something being made. When we did Misaal, a lot of people came and told me, "Ma'am, you're coloring the house differently. Is BMC asking you to mark the wall? हमारे घर टूटने वाले हैं. किसी बिल्डर ने खरीद लिया, कोई मॉल बनेगा, हम कहाँ जाएंगे? हमारी दीवारों में बॉम्बे में इतना बारिश होती है." I've literally seen my students sleep on a wooden plank with so much water. Can you sleep on a wooden plank? You can't even sit on it. But वो लोग उसी के ऊपर ऐसा फट्टी रख के उसके ऊपर सोते हैं. So when we waterproof, it became news that for the first time, Bombay slum where Misaal initiative, Rouble Nagi Art Foundation was working, didn't have water clogging. There was nobody who slept on a wooden plank, and they slept on the floor because there was no water filled in their homes. So they have these things, and you have to respect them. उनको ऐसे ही लोग आके बोलते हैं. So they need to, you need to hear them and hear their problems. And I always feel that advocacy is good. 20%, 80% has to be groundwork. Even for government schemes, you're launching beautiful schemes, but if they are not implemented on ground, then it's zero value, right?
And वो आपको जाके करके
लोगों तक पहुंचना बहुत जरूरी है. जब तक लोगों तक पहुंचेंगे नहीं, आपको कैसे पता चलेगा?
आपको प्रॉब्लम्स कैसे पता चलेंगे?
Nobody likes to live in a slum. Nobody likes to live in a small room. But if they're living there, they have problems, right? So now if you're going to go on a high horse and say, no, 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 मैं जो बोल रही हूँ वो करिए, वो नहीं होता है. आपको उनको अपना परिवार समझ के, treat them like your own, listen to them, give your ear to them, trust me, they will give your life. They will give their life for you. But all they want is, कोई हमारी सुन ले. प्रॉब्लम कितनी तो सुन के सॉल्व भी नहीं होती है, पर उनको मन में तसल्ली हो जाती है. सुनिए, एक उम्मीद बन जाती है. दैट होप कम्स कि हाँ हाँ नहीं, अब पानी आ जाएगा, अभी हो जाए. स्लम्स में देयर आर लॉट ऑफ वाटर वेस्टेज आल्सो. आई टेल ऑल माय गाइस, ऐसे कितना पानी वेस्ट करो, प्लीज नलका बंद करो, बाल्टी भरो, गिराओ मत. एंड दे आल्सो से ओके मैम करते हैं. इट्स नॉट दैट द प्रॉब्लम्स आर नॉट देयर. प्रॉब्लम्स आर देयर, but you have to understand from their perspective that they are living in it. We are only coming to solve them, right? So when we are coming to solve them, least we can do is have patience, have love for them, and consistency and hard work is the key. No, nothing is built overnight. It's taken me 20 years to even talk about this, that what we are doing. But I'm not someone who thinks ki midway may I give up. No, I will never give up. And till I am alive, the last day of my life, I pray to God that I should be working and I should be doing something, at that time also, that last second of my life also should also be dedicated or contributed to doing something that could help someone after I'm gone also. So that is something that I have decided from a very young age in my life, and I think it's the best thing I can think for myself. I think this birth for me is very fulfilling. That आगे birth, rebirth, वो ऊपर वाले की मर्जी है. But I am very happy and I'm very content and to be doing what I'm doing, and it's the way forward. I mean, I'm not in a glamour business where if I grow old, my time is over. So if this is something I can do till I live, till I live. And I always say every day is the beginning. Take every day as the first day of your life and move forward.
So, Rouble, tell me a little bit about, and you mentioned this passingly, about, time for your family or time for Vivan. And how do you really manage that? And, how is that? And I think that's a balance for all women. We're always wanting to be moms. We have to be moms, wives, manage the family, and manage these multiple other families that you're now.
That's why you say, women can multitask.
Right.
What women can do, men can't do.
I can absolutely agree with that.
Every award or any applaud that I get for anything that I do, I thank my husband, because my mother-in-law is no more, my father-in-law is no more. My husband is the only child in the house. He's no siblings, and I have one son. So for me, it's all thanks to him, because when you're married in a comfortable home and you're not really, working because you need to earn to fetch or live a regular life, then it's like, out of choice. But the way I work is literally like, it feels like that घर चलाना इन्हीं को है, इसलिए इतना hard work करती है. It's like that. But that's all thanks to my husband, because he said, listen, what you can do, I can in my 10 births also not do. The way you are to kid, the way people connect to you, the way people love you and stand behind you for anything. They will not even listen to you and they'll say, जो मैम बोल रहे हैं हम कर लेंगे. We've agreed, मैम आप क्यों time waste कर रहे हैं और हमें समझा रहे हैं. I'm ready. Yeah, they're like that. We'll send out, like Kashmir, the parents of my girls, they're like, मैम आप कहाँ जाना है? अच्छा दिल्ली जाना है, बॉम्बे जाना है. वो लोग श्रीनगर नहीं गए कभी from their village. But they're ready to come to Bombay and Delhi, to bigger cities, because ma'am ne bola. That is the faith. That is the confidence they have on me, right? That is why they say these things. But of course, I do miss out on a lot of time with my son. And it's a given thing that if I'm out for more than 6 days, he will do a video call, and the minute, and it's like a given thing, 6th day he will ask, Mama, when are you coming back? And when he says, Mama, when you're coming back, I'm like, when do you want me to come back? He'll say, right now or tomorrow. So I put the phone down and tell Sahil, okay, fine. You know what? I'll come back after 2-3 days, but I'm coming tomorrow, because
Aw.
the minute he says, I want you to come, when are you coming
Right.
back? He will not ask for 4-5 days, because he is a very good boy. He understands Mama is working. He celebrates his birthday in all the slums with us. He has friends there. 14th Feb is his birthday. 8-10 jagah pe he will go and celebrate. I mean, he had his first birthday party when he turned 10 with his school friends. Before that, he celebrated with all my kids. Normally, husbands would say कि ठीक है चल आप करिए शौक के लिए काम करिए.
Correct.
But he's the one who pushes me, and he says that, you
Do
know what?
more, do better.
Yes, he says,
So-
I go to slums and I see how people are with you, Rouble. It is not something, no money can buy this
I love
love.
that.
Because when you do it once, twice, banner लगा दिया, distribute कर दिया, सब free में चलो कहते हैं, लेने आ जाते हैं. But चौथी पांचवी बार के बाद आप बुलाइए, लोग आना ही नहीं चाहते. Till they really know कि यहाँ पे आपका रिश्ता है, and they are connected to you. So that is the love that I crave for, you know, and I've got that in tons. So how do I stop, and how do I go back now? So
Not
it's
at all. I
always
think-
moving forward and
I
ahead.
think you're
Yes.
inspiring this. We have a fun segment where we want to do a quick rapid fire with you. Define Rouble in 3 words.
Straightforward,
Okay.
honest, very hardworking.
If you could have a dream art studio anywhere in the world, where would you want it to be?
I already have one in Bombay, but if I have to set up another one, then I would say Kashmir.
Kashmir.
Yeah, I love my country. I'm very Indian. I'm absolutely gaon wala.
What advice would you give to your younger self?
Maybe more and more hours to work. Not that I've given little
Less.
but I still feel कि शायद 24 hours कहीं ना
कम
कहीं
है।
लाइफ में कम पड़ जाते हैं. आपको जब आपके मन में दिमाग में इतनी सारी चीजें करनी है कि सब बच्चों को मिलना है, सब लेडीज के साथ और बैठ के आपने अगर लंच किया है तो शायद डिनर भी कर पाते. So I guess time management, yeah, little more.
What comes to your mind when I say canvas?
Canvas, fill it.
Happiness.
My kids,
Simplicity.
yourself,
Art.
life.
And finally, what does because she can mean for you?
Because I think there is no word that she can't. She can. It's just that you have to put your heart and mind to it, and then there is no stopping. As I said, when you have faith on God, don't give timing to that faith. Make it a lifelong learning. That I love you, I trust you, and whatever you do is for my best. बट भगवान ये नहीं कहता पेट में दर्द है तो डॉक्टर के पास मैं उठा के ले जाऊंगा.
वो खुद जाना
कहते हैं
पड़ेगा.
वो खुद जाना पड़ता है.
खुद
तो
जाना
आपको
पड़ेगा.
मेहनत तो आपको ही करनी पड़ेगी, और जितना आपके नसीब में फल है वो आपको जरूर मिलेगा. बट नेवर गिव अप, नेवर स्टॉप ट्राइंग. यस.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Rouble. It has been such an inspiring hour with you. I have taken back so much, and really, you know, how you've started, how you've grown this into a national movement, international movement, is something that each of us can learn from. So,
I'm
thank you so
glad.
much.
I'm
and
grateful.
we have a
Thank you very much
something for you.